Hi everyone, in today's video I'll show you how I made this miniature houseplant, Stromanthe, which is inspired by a real one that I have at home. For this project I'll be using cold porcelain, which is a type of air drying clay. You can also use polymer clay. I prefer air drying clay just because it doesn't need conditioning, but it's ready to use right away, and that is very helpful in case of cold hands like mine. To make the leaves, I start from a small lump of clay that I mix with some white acrylic and a bit of yellow dry pastel. I prefer working with pastels because they are less pigmented than acrylics and I can control the color intensity better. While making the leaves, I'll keep my lump of clay covered in a damp paper towel so that it doesn't dry out. Then I take one tiny bit of clay and shape it into a sort of long grain of rice, place it on my ceramic tile and flatten it out with the help of a piece of baking paper so that the clay doesn't stick to my rolling pin, which in my case is a Sharpie. I then cut off some excess clay to get a pointed tip, which is typical of the Stromanthe leaves. And sometimes it's not even necessary to cut the tip of the leaf, as it naturally gets the right shape just by rolling it out. And once I have a few of them, I can move on to the painting process. I first prepare a shade of green using acrylics and dry pastels. And I keep my real plant close by for reference. And then I paint the leaves with some random brush strokes. The second step is a very light shade of pink. This time I only use dry pastel mixed with water, and I apply a tiny amount on each leaf. Third step, I prepare a brownish yellow mix, which I apply only along the margins of some leaves, not all of them, to imitate sunburn damage or hard water damage, which this plant is prone to. Once the leaves are dry, I lift them off the ceramic tile, making sure they stay nice and flat and don't curl up. I apply a thin layer of matte varnish and let dry. Then I mix again the same pink pastel from before with water and paint the lower side of each leaf. In real life, some Stromanthe leaves are not completely flat, but they're slightly folded, so to imitate that look, with the help of a pair of tweezers, I shape just a few of them this way. And now the stems. I mix the same pink pastel from before with a bit of clay and roll out a tiny snake. Then I bond the stem and the leaf together, gluing the stem on the back side of the leaf, smoothing it out with a dotting tool this way. Most Stromanthe leaves naturally stay at a 90-degree angle to their stem, so I make sure that they dry out in this position by laying them out like this on a lollipop stick. And once they're dry, I can arrange them inside their pot. This is a little ceramic pot I made myself on my mini pottery wheel. So I fill it with a bit of clay, add some texture and paint it brown. And lastly, I add the leaves one by one, gluing them with white glue. Arranging the leaves was probably the most challenging part, and I'm not showing all the process here since the video is already quite long, considering it's only a small plant. But I really wanted to go through each step at a slower pace and in detail. And so that's the end result. Thank you very much for watching this video. I hope you liked it, and I'll see you next time. Bye!